real spit you don't find that often. Learn to listen when it's grown men talking, cause real spit you don't find that often. Every discussion from experience, and hopefully within it delivers some deliverance. It's all facts and opinionated, from the west where that real spit originated. Brothers truly trying to save a soul, provoke thought so we can really designate a goal. We on that grown man scribble, the ball in our court with command on the dribble. This is something that'll help us show, cause it's something that'll help us grow. We see exactly what the people need. Now welcome to the show, Spitt'n Pollaseedz. Welcome to the show, Spitt'n Pollaseedz. Welcome to the show, Spitt'n Pollaseedz. Learn to listen when it's grown man talking, cause real spit you don't find that often. Learn to listen when it's grown man talking, cause real spit you don't find that often.
Spitt'n Pollaseedz, Spitt'n Pollaseedz, sizzles.
Yep. It's Spitt'n Pollaseedz Day.
Happy Spitt'n Pollaseedz Day. Happy Spitt'n Pollaseedz.
Because we don't want no sadness going on Spitt'n Pollaseedz Day. Now tomorrow, you can do it, but not today. So y'all come on in, check us out, share it, holler at somebody, let them know. And man,
Hey,
Gentlemen,
man, I look forward to Wednesdays, man. I really
I think they could see the title of the show. We about
Can
to
they?
step in it.
let's do it.
Yeah.
And let's start off with how the week's. Let's start with Evil Knievel right here.
I have
Yeah, it's like he is dressed like he's gonna get shot out of a cannon, huh?
ooh. Thank you. Well, I'm gonna say I had I'm finding my silver lining. That's all I can say, really. Since the last time we met, I'm just finding my silver lining. You know, some people say it's cloudy with a slight chance of rain, but the sun will come out tomorrow. So
Come on, Annie. Come on.
Go ahead.
it's all good, man.
That's
Congratulations to our boy Brandon McCoy. He just had a baby.
Yeah.
So Brandon, congratulations.
Always.
Congratulations, B.
Life.
We got a lot of other stuff going on in the world, period. You know, this has been a very full week since we last 7 days have been kind of tumultuous. You got the hurricanes that we were supposed to have gone. I don't know how you guys would rate the hurricane and what you guys
I
went
survived
through.
it. I was gonna post that I survived Hillary.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
for those of you that don't know, out here in LA, we had a tropical storm. It's supposed to be a hurricane or what have you. A lot of people battened down the hatches and prepared for it, but it was
It
Couple
was a
people,
dud.
ironically.
a couple people caught it. Couple people
Well,
caught it.
It was a
ironically, they said the eye of the storm went right over downtown LA. And I was like,
Well,
okay,
Ask Palm Springs.
yeah,
right.
Palm
And then,
Springs caught it.
but simultaneously, we also had an earthquake.
Yeah, and I was finna
So
say
it was
that.
just a
The earthquake let her know. I'll be coming over here.
maybe so.
Yeah.
And then we also have this whole situation with Trump and his attorney. The attorney had the mug shot today, Giuliani.
Yeah.
So you know, it's
Trump's supposed to get his tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's taking school pictures tomorrow.
but yeah, everything is concerning or whatever else, and plus some supposed new COVID situation strand. So it's just just checking out what's going on globally and then with us individually. So we'll go
So
ahead
you've
and
been
pass the mic to
you've
you,
been
Kev,
watching a lot of news.
collecting information.
Great.
All right,
That's always
Kev.
good.
How was your week,
Man, I can't complain, man. Like I said, I sat there and I was looking out the window. Because people was at a couple folks, y'all ready for the hurricane? How do you get ready for a hurricane? We ain't never had a hurricane.
Sandbags.
Yeah. But where
We
gonna
just
put
don't.
them?
We don't even have nothing to reference it to.
No. So that was my thing.
Yeah.
Like, man, I get it to the man upstairs and keep it pushing.
Absolutely.
That's what it was, and that's what I did. I wasn't running out. Although some folks ran out and stripped all the shelves in the store.
Yeah.
But I know none of
Yeah.
y'all that listen to us did
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, a lot of
We
clean,
got a
lot
smart-
of clean behinds.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
nothing,
Again.
you know what I mean?
again.
Run
Like,
out and get water and toilet
toilet
tissue. Like,
tissue.
okay.
I guess that's just gonna be the thing.
Yeah.
So when Jesus come back, what they gonna do? Run and go get some toilet paper and water?
Yeah.
I don't know. Canoe. How you
Hey,
feel it?
you know, I survived.
Yeah.
I survived. You know, there's a lot of leaves blowing around, a lot of trees slightly moving. I just think it was a distraction. I don't know.
From something.
Yeah, man, all these distractions.
Mm-hmm.
Just stay focused, man.
Yeah,
That is-
stay
my
focused
guys,
on your
that's it.
purpose.
Your purpose
and move
your
on.
path,
Right.
man.
Yep.
Yep, that's the way I'm
Exactly.
feeling.
Yeah.
EP.
Yep.
How you living?
Man, I'm good, man. I had a great week. I had a very, very good meeting yesterday with someone who influences me, like have in my music career for a very long time, and somebody who's tough in the industry too. He doesn't just approve of anything, and I got the approval, and probably going to start working with this cat.
Okay.
Weeks to come. So
That's right.
it's a great thing, man. Just
That's right.
whatever you're doing, stay the course, man.
Man.
No matter what, it gets tough.
It
but
does.
if you whatever your journey is,
Yeah.
believe in it, invest in it, and it will come to pass.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know how many of y'all on the panel been what the title is, but
Our stepfathers.
Are all fathers stepped on, which is a.
He said,
which
"How
is-
many of us have been a stepfather?" Basically,
situation.
where he was, not title.
have you been a stepfather or a stepfather? Would you consider yourself a stepfather?
Well, that's that. I don't consider myself a stepfather, but I think the title applies to a certain age range. So I think up until 20, I don't think that title necessarily applies because you're supposed to be a teacher. But technically, you are a stepfather. But I think the ranges of becoming a stepfather, whether it be from 1 to 7, from 8 to 13, and from 14 to 20, you govern yourself differently in terms of how it applies and whether you be stepped on or not. What about you, Kev?
I've been, and is.
Does it really expire though?
I don't think it ever expires. Because
if it's a healthy, good relationship, I don't say you're saying
I
okay. Now
think-
that you're 20, you're no longer my stepkid. You just my homie.
right.
What do you grow into? If you grow out of step into the.
I would say where the age of the introduction of the child. If you meet the child and the child is, let's say, older than 20.
Oh, you saying when you meet
them?
Oh, okay. We were talking about growing in the. I thought you were meaning.
Oh, my bad. Let me add clarity.
Yeah,
If you come into the child's life between 1 to 7, it's a different chemistry. When you're introduced to the child and the child introduced to you between 8 and 13, and so on and so forth. I think that if I meet you at 20, then I'm probably not gonna be a stepdad.
Okay, got you. All right. Okay. Well, I'll take. Well,
that's probably what the kid would call you, though. Maybe you won't consider
right,
that, but like,
right.
What normally what the kids would introduce you as.
That's my mama boyfriend.
Yeah, my mama husband or my mama boyfriend.
Yeah.
I think above 20, and they would do that. But
what if the dude is or the kid is 25 and still live with the mama? And you know what I mean, it's realistic.
Yeah,
really.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a movie?
Yeah.
And could have been yearning for a father figure.
So would that probably
how
be
is it
better, a father figure, at when they older?
So I want to get to, because it seems like you have a great amount of experience as a stepfather.
Well,
no, let me finish the question.
Okay, go ahead.
So, as a stepfather, you come into the child's life young, and you're influential in the life. How influential in that child's life? Do you just naturally take that upon that role, or do you wait for the child to accept you?
The child, it was her idea.
It's her idea.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as the child opens a bag of chips that I bought in the house, yeah,
Finish.
yeah, you mine.
Yeah.
You right.
Well, I guess you can look
Yeah,
at it.
yeah. If
But
I'm taking financial
yeah,
responsibility for that,
yeah.
for that,
I was doing that before she came and said, I would like for you to be my dad. You know.
so until then, and to that point, what did you consider her?
I would claim her, but that you know how
You waited on
yeah,
her.
yeah.
How old was she?
Early, like 5, maybe 6, no more than 6 years old when she made that decision, and it was hers.
So after, I mean, did you talk about it with her mother, or
No,
or it
actually,
was just
she brought it to me
the
first.
5-year-old, 6-year? Oh, the mother brought it to
and
you.
said that she spoke to her about that. So,
Oh, okay.
So would you say that the steps to getting to that point is building an emotional connection with that child?
yeah, I think all the above, because she, we was under the same roof. So just like Irv said, the chips and all of that.
Yeah, as
You
soon
know,
as
I
you
did
open
that.
it,
I
I
did
mean,
all
if
of
it's a
that.
little bag, if
Yeah.
it's the little
25
bag of
cent.
Doritos,
The
the
little
25,
bag.
you good. But as soon
Snack
as you
bag.
open a big
Big
one,
bag, and we sitting
if
on
I
it.
gotta say, man, who opened? Yeah, you my boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spencer,
know.
how many y'all want
It gotta be
Spencer?
Spencer. I'm hoping this is Spencer. I'm hoping this is Spencer.
Spence.
Yeah, this is Spencer.
Hey, yo, Spence.
Hey, I got a comment.
Yes, sir.
Are you a stepfather?
No, I'm a father, not a stepfather, but no, my opinion is no, not all stepfathers are stepped on, because I had a stepfather growing up.
Okay. And you had a good relationship with your stepfather growing up?
Now we do. At first, not so much.
How old were you when you were introduced to him?
7.
Okay. Did you guys get along growing up?
We started to when I was about 15.
Okay. So, for those years he was stepped on before.
Did you step on him up until then, Spence?
Yeah.
Tell us, Spence.
Yeah, we kind of used to fight and stuff. I used to kind of step on him. I used to kind of step on him in a way.
Yeah.
That's
But I'm glad y'all worked it out,
Right.
Spence. I'm
Yeah,
glad
exactly.
that's a great ending to the story.
Well, thank you very much, and I got to go get something to eat. But thank you. I'm gonna go to Taco Bell. But thanks for taking my call.
Yeah,
man,
don't let us hold you.
Thank you for calling.
Don't let us hold you, brother.
We look forward to you calling, man, every week. Thank you, Spence.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Spence.
I like
Yeah, Spence was stepping on
Man,
the
I like
daddy.
Spence.
But you know what? I think I was 15 when my mom remarried. You know.
Brother Goins.
Yeah.
Cool dude,
Yeah.
Brother Goins.
So, but I was open. You know, I didn't give him a hard time. You know. You know where I was at 15, and you know.
Yeah, he probably didn't want to get in your way
So,
at 15.
but we was cool. We had a cool relationship. I respected him as who he was.
Yeah.
You know, and so we didn't have no issue all the way to the end. We was right there. You know. So yeah.
It's a complex thing because it's blending of a family.
Yeah,
And you have so many different scenarios. You have, if there are multiple children, if both parties have children, and when you introduce other kids, it's like almost a first day of school kind of a situation.
Right.
Okay, you got a new friend or whatever, but you want to get along with them. Then there's some do's and don'ts. You know, you can't come in being a disciplinarian to another person's child. How do you govern disciplining your spouse's children? And you also have to deal with the way different children learn. One, you can say sit down. The other one, you can say sit down, or there's going to be a punishment. One, hey, look, you got to sit down and get a punishment before you listen. The last one ain't going to listen either way.
Right.
But why they don't, or why they don't pay attention to you, or why don't they, reverence you as the man of the house or the woman of the house that's just been introduced into their what they would call territory.
And go ahead.
I think what will massage that situation a whole lot is a bunch of communication up front. Like, look, if we're gonna do this, what rights do I have?
Right.
How are you raising your kids? Because that's gonna tell if I'm going to even engage you in such a manner. Because if you're letting them run amok, and I see problems that can occur down the line, I'm not, and you won't allow me to, to deal with that, then that's a sign. Where's the dad? How's the relationship with the dad between my partner and the dad and the children's father? I would love a relationship with him, because then you can have because certain things have to align in order for me to even consider it anyway. Like, it can be a variable that is off, and then I'm like, it's not really something. I'm not looking. It's not looking hopeful.
Do you date? So, do you look for women that might have children?
I don't look for women with children, but
would you prefer a woman to have children or not have children?
I would prefer a woman to not have children. Okay. But the age we are is
the preference.
They got grandchildren. At our age, they got grandkids.
So we at our age,
not necessarily, brother.
We got to look to make sure the children are grown and out the house.
Okay.
If they're they don't really have children to maintain. But to date someone with a young child, that is very difficult.
Yes, it is.
Because that person is, if they're an involved parent, they're going to be involved in that child's life. And who really wants to become second to? I mean, I'm by any stretch of the imagination, I know I'm not going to be in the forefront of that person's mind.
But isn't that a given though? Because if a person just automatically,
that's what I just said.
If a person automatically pushes one to a position of authority or in a relationship too soon, that's going to cause a whole domino effect and some things that they don't necessarily want.
Well, it starts with respect too, because if that child respects you, then a lot of other things can be corrected early.
I think that
show
you, E. Huh? I think that comment is for you.
What did it say?
Does that mean you don't intend to go further than dating, or is it that just doing your dating phase before it get really serious?
I am very vocal with whoever I'm dating or whatever the situation is. So if it just depends on the person and how we vibe, but I'm not misleading nobody. So
yeah, because you in the beginning, I don't even expect to meet this person's children right away.
Yeah.
Because it's just out of respect.
I'm opposite with that, actually. I think one, it's going to take some time if you date someone that has children, and two, I think that, and I know this goes against the grain, but you should meet somebody with your child, because if you build a relationship with someone and then you introduce your child, then that opens up a brand new can of worms or confusion. Now, if you're going out to date or to meet somebody and you want to hook up with them too soon, because like I said, it takes a while before it gets to that point for me. But oftentimes you meet someone with your child if you're really a parent. I'm not intending on dating you. Yes, I'm not intending on dating you. So if you catch me in the beauty supply, if you catch me out at yeah, right. If you catch me at golf and stuff, you catch me at Mulligan's. If you catch me at Dave,
that's if you have a young child. Though. If you have an older child, you're a lot less likely to be hanging out.
But if
with
me and my
child.
Okay, but wait a minute. If you, like I said, that's why I said the ages are different. the ages is that.
That's why I prefaced it with depends on how old it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I just think anyway with dating someone, meeting their children too soon, the reason why I say that, because that child gets attached to you, and then say for instance you're dating you okay, most children get it. If you're a cool guy, you don't interrupt me every time I talk.
Probably.
Okay, I know that, but if the child gets attached to you, and then you got to deal with that, you got to disattach. Now you don't want to date this person no more, and now you got to, okay, this child is attached to me now. Now you got to go off, and you breaking two people's hearts.
Well, see, and that's like you said, that's something that should be discussed in the beginning, because say it don't work out. Okay, where are we if it don't work out?
Yeah,
you know, where then how? Because if I've been here say 5 years in this child life for 5 years, and we were a family, you know, I was there, I was the disciplinarian, I was, you know, the protector, the provider for 5 years. So we both have gotten attached to each other, and we split. Then where does that leave us?
We lose.
Yeah, we lose. And that's what I'm saying. It's hard dating someone with children, because you don't have any rights to that child,
right?
Because you're the dad or stepfather,
the male figure.
Yeah, you don't have any rights to that child. That is their child. You can't demand, like, go to family court and say, okay, I want visitation rights. You don't have any leg to stand on.
And that's where, you know, I would understand that and back off, you know, or back up, and won't try to, because I don't want to make the child's life any harder than what it is when we split, because that child may, you know, they're going to have to deal with that separation too.
Yeah, it can serve as a divorce for that, for that kid, and then start acting out in school, and not want to do certain things and everything.
And then the child may even think like, well, you know, my dad, he ain't here, and then now I got somebody that
else has
stepped
left
in,
me,
and now he didn't left me. So
you
don't want to put the kids. That's why you really have to really sit down and discuss and talk.
And even the fact of parenting, having different parenting styles and discipline styles. You know, you dating a woman for 5 years, and you guys get married and the whole nine. If you have a disciplinary style where this person is going to get a spanking, and then you spank that person, now you might not only get backlash from the mother, but from the father as well. So it's
I mean, you can assume that if I'm dating this person and I'm taking care of this kid, that like some of them things you're gonna have to just take. Okay, daddy, you come do this then. Some things you're gonna have to just stand up against. After it goes so far. Let me present this scenario to you guys. You're dating a young lady. She has a child that's 5, right? You date her for years. She disallows you to discipline this child. This child is a boy. He grows up to he's 15 now. He's influenced by some different people, some different causes. He starts to be disrespectful, not to you, but to the mama. He starts to act out, and he even rears up to hit his mama. But you was disallowed to discipline this dude as he was growing up. You happen to be home, and you hear them in a heated debate. He calls her out her name and on top of her like he finna hit her. What do you do in that situation?
I'm protecting my wife.
Did you say married?
I mean, it could be white. It could be either. Y'all together that long. Hopefully,
I'm protecting her. He gonna get.
What does that look like? What does protection look like?
Well, I'm gonna forcefully remove him from her. Now, if that spawns something else, then that's what it is. But that's
You see how that can easily play into that? When you're being disallowed to enforce something just because you're not the biological. But if I'm spending all the time and I'm spending all the money and I'm spending all the efforts,
we would definitely have a conversation about that.
Sports stuff, basketball cleats and all of that. Going to the game, boy, that's my boy. You know, if he good, he got to be good. I ain't claiming it if his ass don't know how to play.
Did he eat the chips?
Yeah. He ate the chips.
Oh, then that's your boy.
That's my boy.
Yeah. It's that's why I prefer not
Yeah.
to take care of somebody else's. Well, it's really somebody else's lineage. I heard you tell a story before, and I didn't want to bring it up, but I want you to, where you know the child that you're talking about, you was assisting the raising and everything, but when the child got getting ready to get married, they want their biological father to walk them down the aisle, right? That how does that feel?
Actually, I know someone that went through that. To me, I think if I didn't play this role for these many years, and then it depends on where he is.
Yeah.
With the relationship. Now, if he, nigga, if you've been half-assing down throughout the years, then I'm going to let her know how I feel. Now, we can even compromise and say we both walk you down the aisle.
Got you.
But just to
no, he walk you down first, you walk out and come back in. Yeah.
He walk you halfway and I walk the other.
No, you just go do a whole loop for me. Go in and out and I'm coming.
Yeah, like I'll be the one
again. Here comes the bride again.
I'll be the one that when the pastor say who give this, I'm the one that say I do. Nigga, shut up. I do because I put the time and the chips and all of that in.
But it's the child. You got to honor her. If she says, you know what, I really appreciate you, but I want my biological
Let's go to the
father.
comment, please.
Kathy says, I guess this is for Kevin.
Yeah.
It sounds like you are the only one on the panel who has stepfather experience. What challenges did you face? Was the step relationship dissolved with the dissolution of the marriage?
Shit, I keep getting these women with children. Shit, you know. I just like you were saying, I allowed her to make the decision, and even through that, it was still tough because it's like, okay, so if I want to continue a relationship now that you're grown with, the stepfather, how is my mom going, take it? What if my mom don't want me to cut off everything with him because she didn't cut off everything with you? So
that happens.
It happened, and it did happen.
Wow.
So I allowed. I'm a follow you. I never told you that I was gonna turn my back on you. Plus, you got two brothers. How you just going to speak on it? Got two brothers that are with me. So I'm gonna let you decide how you want to do it. If you just want a relationship with your brothers, that's fine. If you want a continue a relationship with me, that's fine too. I don't have a problem with that because it's never the child. It's the two adults that was involved in the situation that, probably, couldn't get along.
What about the child going into adulthood? Did that feel different than just a child making the decision?
It you know what, and now it did, because
especially children that have children that kind of getting a dose of reality.
Yeah.
My thing was like, I ain't gonna say I was just all the way cool with it, because she grew up with my biological daughter. So y'all grew up together, but you chose, to kind of break off. But I still gave you your room and your choice. I'm not gonna force. And it was years that went before I seen her again. And but when she seen me, hey daddy, I gave her a hug, and asked her how she been, how she was doing and everything. And then we went back to our neutral corners.
Look, Belinda says, I let my bonus dad walk
me down the aisle, and my biological father was present.
That's nice.
Hey, I know the biological dad was like, God, I guess I fucked up.
I think when my daughter gets married, I think me and her stepdad will walk her down the aisle.
That's
He and I are pretty cool.
and
Yeah,
that's
cute.
Yeah. When y'all are
cute.
cool,
That
when
is
you
that is cute.
Real
when
cute.
you can be
That's
cool.
mature. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
that's
No,
what-
but
That's
Oh,
what
yeah,
I'm
from a
but
saying.
standpoint,
For you, mature,
Yeah,
cute,
so
same
I
thing.
love
Yeah.
cute.
I just, well,
You
it's
have a
their
little,
preference, but
yeah.
if you, the dad that been put in the work, and they say, okay, I'm gonna let my guy that just came and Johnny come lately, came in and I have an issue with that. I would have an issue with that,
Well-
but it's her choice.
Well, are you gonna let the bonus dad pay for the bonus?
he
What do you
paying
mean?
for the
Is
wedding?
he paying for the wedding? Because traditionally,
Well, if it came down to it, I wouldn't expect him to. I would give him that honor and that respect of if she wanted him to walk down the aisle, he didn't have to pay anything.
oh, okay.
But I would pay for it, and I would welcome it.
And
If she wanted him to be there, also, I think
well, I
he
mean,
earned
I
it.
say
He can be there,
I ain't
but
gonna
yeah.
her name because y'all know what I'm talking
You
about.
hear that, Mimi?
But
Well, I'm talking to mine. I'm talking to mine. We ain't playing that.
Her stepfather walked her down the aisle. Her real, I don't even know if her real father was there in attendance. I'm not sure. But her bonus, which was her little brother's dad.
But he's been there though.
Yeah.
He's been there for his child.
Right.
So the bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my daughter.
If he walking that out, he probably
my
wheeled out of there.
my daughter only got one daddy, so she ain't got to worry about that. I ain't got to worry about that. But that's noble of you, Trev.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's the complication of dealing with these blended families so much, right? Because you don't know, what that child is gonna. If you get in a relationship and the child is young and you pour into this child so much, and then they want to go a certain way when they get older, you really don't have no.
Right.
Parenting in and of itself is difficult, and
Yeah.
whether with your own child or your biological child, there's a lot of times that even as a parent, you can be stepped on.
Yeah, and the relationships too between stepdads and children. A lot of times it could be what we make it as well. If we put the effort to have a relationship with a kid and put the time in and show the interest. A lot of kids just want the attention. Or let
the presence.
Let somebody know that they care about it. Then you can kind of almost like any relationship. If you show effort and time and quality time,
right,
it kind of turn out in a positive.
Doing things with a child that, I don't want to call him stepchild, but doing things with the person that you're going to marry, doing things with their child one-on-one also increases that bonding time, and also I'm not gonna say it solidifies, but over a period of time they feel more comfortable with talking to, sharing, and communicating with you also. Because sometimes a lot of adults that get married, they shun the child almost to where it's like, okay, now it's my turn to be happy, or you just don't want me to be happy. That's why you acting out and things of that nature, but not knowing what the child within is going through. Someone is in my territory, and now I don't mean nothing to you, dad or mom, or
it's difficult because like you being the stepdad, like let's be honest, like we're jockeying for position for time, because every time spent with them is time away from me or attention away from me, and I can't say nothing because that's your child. Let me ask you this:
let's read this just before he take it down.
Go ahead,
and then we'll go right back to you. My bonus dad definitely deserved the honor. He was there at critical stages of my life, even when he and my mom were not together. He remained a father to me. When he picked up my brother, he picked me up at 2. Okay, go ahead.
No, that's nice.
Well, I mean,
that's beautiful, and rightfully so.
Mm-hmm. And then it's the character of that man too, because just like she was saying, even when
not all stepdad, I mean that goes not all step.
Yeah, absolutely
get stepped on.
Yeah. So
let me paint this another scenario, Kevin.
Go ahead.
Listen to this. Listen at this here. Look, okay, you're the You're the stepdad. You're the provider. You're this. Baby cooks a nice meal. You came home from work. You sitting there looking at the TV. Boy, you looking at the TV. You smell that food. That food smelling good, boy. And before you know it, you flip the TV and you look down and he's sitting right here eating.
The kid.
The kid. The kid is eating. You feel some kind of way that she made his plate before she made yours.
She's slow. Because if you can't make 2 plates at the same time, if you got to deal with that situation,
that's a real thing, though. It's a real thing, Trev. It happens way more.
You did that intentionally, or you wasn't thinking.
Oh, some people still put their baby.
How many times that
before they baby?
And you married her? Like, okay, I mean, stuff like that had to have been happening beforehand.
No, some things are
and
progressive.
Then all of a sudden one day,
because the child was smaller. It was expected when a child was small.
There were 2 plates. Okay. We're gonna talk about this if you do it again. But I'm gonna let you know, boo-boo. 2 plates. If you're gonna feel a certain way about it, you gotta address it, baby. Look, next time, don't even put yourself through choosing. Just get 2 plates if you're gonna feed me. If not, I'll give myself.
Well, my child comes before.
Be blessed.
My plate better be on the table first.
That's why I painted the scenario.
I'm cool with the situation because it's all circumstantial.
That's where you.
But
that's where you draw the line. He can walk you down the aisle, but he cannot put that plate.
Hey, boo boo.
Monica
being
said,
part of a blended.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, you can read that.
Being part of a. It's gone.
Can it come back? Yeah, bring it back. There it is.
Being part of a blended family was an absolute blessing for me. Having step parents preparing me for being a step parent. Thank God for bonus parents. Amen.
Yeah, this sound good when it worked. Sound good when it worked.
Let me.
If you want it to work,
what about you?
Not necessarily.
What about you?
In terms of
having a stepfather.
He and I were always cool
from the beginning.
He didn't come in trying to be authoritative. He came in
I beg to
trying
differ.
to build a bond.
I beg to differ. I beg to differ.
It was any month. It was any already on earth.
Yeah, he's not being truthful. He's not being truthful.
My stepfather, he had terms, limitations, and boundaries.
Those are
he did not reward bad
traits.
He didn't. What? Every child needs. Every young.
We're not talking about what he needed, but
terms,
he was
limitations, and boundaries.
Bro, he was authoritative.
He ran the house.
That is genuine for you to sit here and say, no, he didn't discipline you.
How would you say he was? No, he didn't.
Did
How you gonna tell me what happened in those walls?
Because I grew up with you, and there's a lot of things you couldn't do or go because he said you couldn't.
If I didn't take care of what I was supposed to take care of, nah. That's how.
But that's not painting that picture like you just said.
And if I wasn't handling my business, nah, Trav.
You're not going.
That's not happening. You're not going.
So
you're supposed to take care of this. This was supposed to have been done. This is not done, and this was not done correctly. So all those
that's
elements.
What I'm saying.
And then when he said no, it was no. He showed me where I fell short.
And you was cool with it.
He had structure.
So
nobody. That's a great and a wonderful thing. But the way you're painting it is that he wasn't a disciplinarian. And that wasn't true.
Okay, well then, to that capacity, that's how he disciplined. Then
did he get his plate first?
I don't know if he got his plate first. It's like we all prepared our plates, and then we all sat down and we all prayed together.
Good night, John boy. Good night.
That's how I grew up.
It was always a buffet.
That's how I grew up. Well, we all made our own plates. We all sat down. We all prayed together, and we all talked at the dinner table together.
No, that's what I'm asking. So you said
it was the Last Supper every night, huh?
Every night.
Barabbas.
Every night. That's what it was.
Pass me the potatoes.
That's what it was. We prayed, ate, and talked.
Oh my God. Okay.
Well, he make it sound like a biblical. I love it.
Buffet style.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at whatever worked.
Takashi, who's that question directed to? Okay, how about you and her father? Who serves first?
The young lady's father. Maybe that's what she's saying. So your girl or your wife's father, you and her father, who get served first? Do her father?
I would make sure he got served first.
I think that would be the.
Yeah,
I would make sure that he got his food first.
Right. Well, it depends on what kind of
father,
food.
like the father-in-law.
Let me say, I take that back.
The father-in-law should get his food first. Who house we in?
I knew it was
first and foremost.
I knew it was coming.
If we in my house,
he's getting
in my
food
house.
First.
I'm getting my food first.
But advertently, I think we both kind of like have that mutual respect for one another. You know, so.
When in my grandparents' house, nobody got their food before my grandfather did. Nobody did, and you knew that growing up.
Did he get his own food?
No.
He didn't make his own plate?
No, my grandmother did. She didn't let nobody in her pots. Man, let me get you. There you go.
She got it.
She gave you what you want.
Kathy says, on the other hand, it's not a competition. If any issue of who gets served first, it is in a marriage, it is an issue. Then a bigger issue is an imbalance in the relationship and household.
I think if you're not married, you should act as if you're married, which will help you get married.
Yes.
Not just don't start after I say I do. Yeah.
You can't.
Ego issues at the very best.
At the very least.
Very least.
Yeah, well,
when
I don't know where is she referring to? Where's the ego? Because it's a pecking order. There's like people argue about like who should get their plate first. Like a lot of women go around saying like, "Oh, my children getting their plate first." That's not even. Why are they getting their plate first? Did they work harder than me that day? No. Mm-mm.
And maybe I have things backwards because oftentimes I like to cook. I cook often, right? So I also serve food, and I don't know if that's an imbalance, but I'm cooking.
Can we bring that comment
so
back?
while I'll be cooking, and then I'll make the kids plate, and I oftentimes eat last. But maybe that's just me.
No, I've done that, but it's we're talking about a nuclear family, right? Or a blended family where there's a man and a woman, and this woman decides to give the children their plate before I'm over here. Now, if I'm out, not even at home, then of course you feed the babies. You know what I mean? But if I'm sitting there waiting, just like everybody else waiting, and you go give everybody else their food, then give me mine. I'm the king. I should get the lion's share.
Get the big piece of chicken.
Well, that's again how you grew up also determines how you function your household. So I get it.
How do you run yours, Trevor? What do you think about that?
I do a lot of cooking, and then I'll make sure everybody has their plate, and I usually eat last.
No, because I think you're saying, well, what do you mean by the way you don't know the way I was raised?
Well, you said that your grandmother served
my grandmother. Yeah.
And then you also said that she didn't let anybody else in her pots.
No, you're right. Yeah.
P, that's for you.
What?
Right,
P.
Yeah.
But it is a healthy relationship and mutual respect is being served. The adults not going to trip about who served first. If you setting the example, like every time you sit down at the dinner table is a learning experience. That's the way I always say. This is where we learn. We break bread and we learn.
I agree. I think and culturally, not so much in our culture, but like in other cultures, it like even the girls serve the boys.
Right.
First.
Yeah.
The women serve the men first.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The girls are taught early. They're brought up to serve their brothers.
They're taught to be wise.
As soon as something happens, the man automatically knows to step up and be the protector.
Yes.
And be the provider. So those roles are.
So you think with that upbringing that prevents them, if they ever become stepfathers, that they won't be stepped on?
I think with that upbringing, it promotes how to have a healthy household first. I think being a stepfather is a byproduct of a relationship not working, and then you go into
If I tell you what my grandmother would say about dating somebody with children, right? It was, and this was my dad. She told him, "You don't need no ready-made family." That's what she called it. She called it a ready-made family, because we all might say like, yeah, in a perfect world, this will be a perfect thing, but and we know it's gonna have its challenges more than it would. Oh, if it wasn't, like, I would, like, if you asked me if I would tell my son whether to date a woman with children or to date a woman without children, of course I'm naturally gonna tell him date a woman without the children so you can start your own family.
And normally perspectives change when women are asked, would you want this for your child, for your son? They may feel a certain way about, okay, well, no, it's okay, but would you want this? Would you tell your son to go out and get somebody whose family is already started?
Yeah.
Or would you tell them it's far better to start your own?
Start your own family.
But with moving with the times, about 20 years ago, that this wasn't the normal. And it's becoming more of the normal gradually. Children being, even schools are making provisions for children that live in two different households. So it's becoming the new norm. So we need to have some, better yet, we are having a discussion about stepfathers and men that don't want to get stepped on. But we also have to understand our individual roles within the household with the lady that we're dealing with.
And I think that's why boundaries and standards should be implemented more, so we can reverse some of the stuff in stages that we're in today.
Yeah.
Different results.
Yeah. And just because I'm always from the, what is that saying? You could live in the world, but you don't have to be of the world.
Yeah.
So if we adhere to everything new that's coming down the pike, everything new age coming down the pike, the new age, this modern day feminism and everything, if we adhere to that, then we are no longer living the natural order. I'm saying it's the natural order of things, the natural order, the way to live.
Okay,
I agree.
So how do we curtail that?
Curtail what?
That not happening, because these things
it's going to happen.
happening.
It's going to happen. It's happening now.
You challenge it and you set boundaries and you have hard conversations and you stand on your principles.
Earlier on in the relationship, as soon as possible. And yet it has to be practiced. And then after it's practiced, then you know that it is true. This person does stand on their core principles. Values. Their
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question. What are some benefits of being a stepfather?
If the children are great, you could possibly have some other great people other than yourself around you. And that's the premise of it. Are these children going to add value to whatever it is, or are they going to take away? Yeah. They have the option too.
You're right.
I think the same thing, same rewards come from if that child is not necessarily your stepchild. It's the same rewards if you genuinely love the child's reaction. I don't think the child is the one that's going to give you the reward. The reward has to come from within. And if you're in a relationship, there are going to be some edifying moments for you in that relationship that you may not necessarily need to be expressed, but you will be rewarded if the end result of your hard work in this child's life ends up them being independent and growing and being, self-sufficient and contributing to society.
I think the reward could be mutual. I think the father can get a reward out of raising the child as well as I think the benefit definitely goes on both, because you definitely need some stuff as you going through. Who wants to invest and not feeling like you're getting nothing out of it, or even the respect or the gratitude. Like we need that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And and especially if you got children that are open to
Learning.
that, and looking at you as a provider, a protector, someone that's going to get in my butt if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, but then also show that he genuinely care about me,
Yeah.
and the person that I'm trying to become.
Right.
So yeah, like you said, it goes on both, because even as a stepfather, you want to see the woman and her children do great as well.
And it's shown through the past that like kids just want somebody. It doesn't necessarily have to be a stepfather.
Right.
Like we want a village to just show interest. And I can tell you how it changed my life just growing up, having an uncle that was my dad, wasn't my stepdad, who held me accountable, who showed me love, who showed me discipline, who showed me different things in the world that I can attain. And also had a street dad, which was Scurb, who showed me stuff from how to survive in the street and certain things, how to, protect myself. And so, and I did things to show him I was grateful because I had somebody who cared. And that took me a very, very long way.
And I'm going to tell you, one is another place where you see the lack of fathers.
Mm-hmm.
I used to coach as well. I coached my boys, and I coached basketball and football. I coached in a Snoop League for Kathy, for like 4 years.
Call in.
Kathy, call it.
So
just so you know, the font is this little, so we can't really see it. That's why we up here like, yeah. But if you call, we gonna get right on your question.
So it was like you talking about 25, 30 kids, right? And you just you seen more mothers, and you may see the fathers actually was on the field. Mm-hmm. The coaches, those was really the only fathers that was present. So, and it's hard to not get attached to these kids because they're looking at you as giving instruction. You're going to get in their butt if they cutting up, but you're going to also praise them and tell them they did a good job. So, and that was, it was a good feeling.
The thing about that is raising a child. I think that's so awesome. The thing about that, some children within, they receive information differently. You, by God's grace, had balance, right? Mm-hmm. So now the child from within, whatever direction they really want to go in, they'll go in that. You can be raised in the same house and get the same information. So thank God
not to cut you off. But it's all in caring, because if you care, you're gonna pay attention. And not all, like say all 4 of these mugs are kids. This is gonna command a different need for. I mean, he may not learn like the black one, or the bigger one on the end needs something else. So you gotta, if you're paying attention, you will know what to give and what to yield, and how to make them all feel loved and all feel special, and no one is worth more than the other one. So if you have that balance, and I'm not saying it's always the easiest thing to do, right, but that's what's necessary in order to change some of these things that we don't want to see happening in the world and in these streets today. Right. It takes time, attention, care, and love.
And I think the black one would need more attention.
Yeah,
absolutely. He's surrounded by whites.
Yes.
So
this is an example of your house. Of your household. Trevor said, Trevor said, I didn't get this. Man, are you sit? As long as we used to sit and wait for you, Trevor can't go.
Okay, but I'm thinking, you got a spank in the belt and all that.
Stuff, but did he hit you? Did he hit you? No. Tell the truth, bro. No. He's never hit you. But what was you scared of? You a buster.
Okay, I wanted to eat.
Okay.
Well, Kathy ain't gonna call, but that was a lot. I couldn't.
Woo. Yeah, how a child receives the information and what they do with it. Also, it's just, it's going to the real spit.
I tell you, a child can attempt to break up a relationship because
hands down.
that child wants their parents to be together.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to deal with that as well. So this is
Lashing
another
out.
thing that can, with when you have to deal with when you're dating someone or marry someone with children.
There was definitely not enough time for this. For this subject.
Actually,
it flew.
We didn't even get to disciplinary styles and
none of that.
Yeah.
all kind of other things. I don't know.
When do you discipline? How do you discipline? Yes.
Well, they consider spanking corporal punishment, so that just even sounds.
The
crazy.
introduction of timeout pissed me off. I'm like, timeout.
No, what's crazy is, and look at this point. We shun discipline, but these kids go out there at 10 and 11 years old, and the police whoop them across their head and everything else, and it's legal.
Yeah.
But if you would allow me to discipline them early on,
you wouldn't have to do that. Man, absolutely.
There it is.
There's a lot of stuff that's backwards here.
Period.
Come on,
let's go and get the real spit.
Come on, real.
Is that
real spit?
Yeah. Is that the first Olympic sweatsuit?
That's Yessie Owens. Yessie. Yessie on his taco truck.
Yes, he did.
Real spit. Now, that was real spit, right? Yes, it's taco truck. Real spit. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show. Remember to subscribe, like, and share so that someone else can hear. We appreciate your calls, questions, and comments. Real spit. There's no book on how to be a perfect parent. If there was, it would probably be one of the best sellers. But there's also virtually not a book on how to be a perfect child. It's almost kind of like a learning on the job kind of a situation. There's not too much homework you can do, but you can get some examples around you. I have a shirt that says fatherhood, the toughest job you'll ever love. But I beg to say that for male and females, being a mom and being a dad, just parenthood. Parenthood is the toughest job you'll ever love. I pray that for you, it'd be a labor of love. We also have to take, as we move forward into parent, as we grow with our children, that we also have to take in their feelings into consideration as well, because you don't want them to lash out publicly later on or in life later on based upon some things that or some issues that were not addressed earlier on, i.e. like when Irvin had made mention about disciplining or what have you. So you have to have some type of a disciplinary action. Children need terms, limitations, boundaries through love. And we have to show our children love. And this world is going to, force a lot of hate and a lot of issues into their hearts and spirit. But it's up to us as parents to learn how to love that hell out of our children. We also have to understand too that when we're going to be introduced to the life of a new spirit or a younger child based upon their ages, we have to govern ourselves accordingly, watch and observe the children so that we can be effective teachers. Until next time, we appreciate all your calls, all your questions, and all your comments. Spencer, we'll see you next week for sure. We can count on you. And Irvin, did you want to address the next topic, or we're going to go?
I don't know. Let's talk about it, because this subject, we might need to run this back. Yeah. We might. We'll discuss. Sound
good. We'll discuss it. So next week, you guys, we'll see you guys here.
Thank you for
same time.
Thank you for the support. Hey.